Antonio Brown, former Steeler receiver, went on the Fan. What was it? Thursday morning or Friday morning?
Thursday morning. Yeah.
And did a 20-minute interview. And there were some quotes that came out of that where it got me hyped up. It got Steeler Nation hyped up. It got them flipping their tune. Would you agree? About things?
I saw 60, 40, 70, 30.
What do you mean? Like positive?
No, you said in terms of people flipping their tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it's about 60, 40, 70, 30 from what I saw. In terms of like some people flip their tunes as like, yo, he's back, like love and bring it in. And then others are like, no, we've seen this before. We know what he's doing.
So the conversation is though now. I mean, you see the headlines everywhere. Should the Steelers bring Antonio Brown back? Should there be a reunion there? And then obviously, if you're gonna do that, there's talk about Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Why not bring
right.
all the killer bees back? So I'll let you start out because
you brought it out. You started out, man.
What do you want me to talk about? Because I want them both back.
Okay. You can tell them why.
Tell them why.
Yeah.
So our offense could be lethal. Simple as that. There's some unfinished business. That's all.
Unfinished business. Oh, okay.
With AB, I definitely want him back. It seems like he was very apologetic, and he even said at the end, he said, man, I don't have the quote on me, but it's something about...
Oh, no, yeah. I saw, about the Steelers, and like he wants to be back.
I would like to be
back or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so... There's that, and he was kind of talking about Ben. Like, I love Ben. There was just some things that went on between us.
It's interesting.
What? What's so interesting? Anyway, so I don't know what it would take on both sides there because there's a lot of stuff that happened within this past year.
Yeah, man.
In terms of people that he kind of took out. But there was one quote that I saw from someone. I think it was on Twitter. It was probably the most clever thing I heard all weekend. He said, "There's too many." I can't even get it out. It's so funny. It's so good. It's so good. He said, "There's too many bridges in Pittsburgh to burn them all."
Jeez. All right.
So I don't know what it would take. I really don't. I just want them back. And I know what you said about the situation, that you would prefer AB to get right, just in general, outside of football, which I want to. But hey, if you can have both go on at the same time, why not?
All right. And what about Juju?
Juju? What do you mean?
I mean, you saw his comments about Juju as well, right?
Well, I told you, I think that was tough love, maybe. Just like, hey, man.
Tough love.
You step it up a little bit, that's all.
But how could it be tough love if it's not coming from a place of love?
You don't think?
What would make you think it was?
Just because there was some tweet that was sent out maybe a week prior to this interview that he was talking about making amends or saying like it was all love, bro. Like he sent a picture.
He definitely did say it was all love, bro.
He said all love, something like that.
No.
he said all love.
No. And it was the picture with him and Juju and James kind of hugging, the picture that he doesn't even tag Juju in. And then Juju responds and says, well, if it's like that, unblock me. If it's all love, why is my man still blocked? If it's all love, why he tag him? Just a question.
It's a good question.
If it's all love, why do you say in the interview, y'all hyping up Juju, he get 500 yards, y'all act like he all world? Does that sound like that's tough love? Does that sound like that's coming from a place of love? Then he took a shot at your boy Hines too. You know your boy Hines Ward.
I didn't hear the Hines one.
Oh, he's like, man, Hines never treated me with respect. Hines never showed me the way to be a professional. Hines never did this for me. He went down a whole list of what Hines did not do for him and why Hines didn't respect him and why Hines didn't help him be a professional, and Hines never took him under his wing to teach him anything. He had to figure it out on his own.
Oh, man, dude. See,
that was on the same interview, man.
I only saw a couple tweets.
You saw what you wanted to see, man. You saw what you wanted to see.
I only saw a couple sound bites.
You saw what you wanted to see, man.
That is true. Yeah. Because if we're being real, it's very doubtful. At least AB.
Now, when you talk about AB coming back, number one, him and Ben, regardless of what he says, until I hear from Ben, until I see that dynamic, I don't believe it, just because of how everything transpired when he left. You already know he has the comments that he was making about Mr. Rooney. That's still gonna have to be amended. Now, granted, Mr. Rooney, he's super chill. He's not gonna like hold a grudge in that regard. But that's still going to be a conversation that's going to be had, because to come back, you got to sign for a contract, and to sign for a contract is going to be the conversation about money. And we all know how those negotiations go. It's always interesting. Then you add in the fact with Juju and the things that he's been saying about Juju continually, that's going to be an issue, because Juju's a guy that the Steelers are probably going to re-sign because they like him long-term, whereas AB, at best, you're hoping 2 to 3 more years, at best. So that's another issue you're going to have, man.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just me being naive, but because it has happened throughout this whole process, because something happens and then a couple weeks later it's chill and you're like, all right, could AB come back?
It's turning a new leaf.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I guess with this, especially with the interviews now, to be hearing those words coming out of his mouth of, man, I love Pittsburgh. Like, I'd want to be back, let's run it back. And the ESPN interview, I don't know, dude. Maybe I just fall for this stuff. I don't know.
It's, it happens, man.
And
you know what you're kind of like?
What?
You're kind of like the ex-girlfriend. the guy he cheated on you a couple times to hurt your little heart. And then he comes back and he's like...
This sounds way worse.
He comes back and he's like, yo, you kind of pretty, man. You look good today, girl. You know I miss you, right? Did I tell you, man, like, we can never... Like, what we have... Nah, man. Hey, it don't matter what's happened before. Love always wins. And you're like... Dang, you right. This is different.
The thing with me, though, I wasn't like really that offended when he was saying all this stuff before.
Because you're like the girlfriend. The girlfriend's like, yo, man. It's like, yo, I can't stand you. Yeah, that's my girlfriend over. Yeah, I'm cheating on you. So what? And you're like, it ain't that bad. He gonna come right back. You just borrowing him. He really mine. That's what you are right now, man.
What, when he went to the Raiders?
Oh, and when he proceeds to talk bad about Ben, talk bad about Mr. Rooney, talk bad about Juju. You're like, oh, it ain't that bad. It's all right. It's all right. He don't really mean that. He don't really mean that. He all right. He still love me, girl.
I don't know if I was like that.
You were. You just said you weren't even offended. You said it wasn't even that bad.
No, I wasn't offended, but I was thinking, hey, man, like that's a bad look. Like,
you just changed your tone.
No, that's a difference between being offended and saying like, AB, man, like, yeah, it's whatever. I mean, if you wanted to come back to the Steelers, it's fine, but there's some repairs you'd have to make. That's all.
Whatever, man.
That's all. It's not the best look, dude. Especially for like your professional career, it's not a good look.
You weren't caring about none of that. We had this conversation. You were not caring about none of that.
I mean, I was wearing an AB jersey.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You didn't care. You did not care about any of that. So don't try to sit up here and change the tune of, oh man, that's a bad look. You were the whole time. And then it was, oh, this happens. Oh man, all right. Reunion note. Hashtag the return. Let me just put this on social media real quick, see what anyone said. All right, let me take it down real quick. All right, I'm gonna put it back up here. All right. Like, stop it, man. You said, man, you're the ex, bro. It's cool.
Oh man,
you're the ex. Wow. The naive, just he still loves me. It's okay. I know he cheated on me 5 times. I know he calls me names. I know he never buys me nothing for Christmas, Valentine's Day, or my birthday. He forgets our anniversary every year, but he still loves me. He's so cute. It's cool, bro.
Could these current receivers step up, though? That's the question.
Hey, man.
So I could forget about the ex.
Hey, man. Hey. Do what you need to do, man. Do what you need to do.
Man, dude. It's just hoping. It, like, in reality, it's probably doubtful, but considering everything that you said and everything that I've tried to shut out of my mind, so it's just yeah.
That's for me. If he could get everything in order and at least go 6 months. When I say 6 months, I'm saying in 6 months, if he can prove that he is still on this road to recovery and is actually a good dude and is actually taking steps to make himself a better person, I don't care who he comes back to. For sure, give him an opportunity to earn. No different than when Mike Vick, when he went to prison for the thing was going on with the dogs. Like, once you serve your time and you come back and you've proven that you have changed the course of your life, you've changed the course of how you think, well, then absolutely give him another opportunity, because I truly believe you can't hold a grudge and just say, hey, man, I'm forever mad with this person. Or I'm forever, like, this guy can never get a chance to earn and make a living. No, I don't think that's right. And that's the beauty of America. You get the opportunity to prove yourself, to redeem yourself. But it's not a 2-week thing.
Yeah.
2 weeks is fast. We've seen 2 weeks. We could do for AD in 2 weeks. We've seen this.
Yeah.
So why all of a sudden is this time different? He was just in jail. He was just in jail for an incident that transpired 1 week after what happened with the police. Think about that.
Yep.
And even with the police thing, people were still like, oh man, we could bring him back. So just imagine. That's all I'm saying. I don't care where he would go after that, but let me at least see that this is for real.
6 months.
Show me 6 months. Okay. 6 months. I'm not even asking for a full year. I'm never going to go there. Just 6 months.
Okay.
Because clearly he hasn't done that.
I think that's a good happy medium.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's because I still like him. Because like I said, we teammates 4 years. Like, I still am biased towards him.
Yeah.
If there's anybody else, I'm like, bro, man, at least a year. I don't want to even see it. At least a year.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yo, this was my guy. Like, we ball. Like, yo, it's different when you a teammate to a dude, man.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like 6 months. Like, I'll even cut it down to 6 months for him. If he could do that, that's different.